Welcome to this St. Patrick's Day episode of One Drink, 3 Bars. Tonight we're going to make 3 different St. Patrick's Day cocktails. 2 of them are going to use Irish whiskey. There's also going to be one green one that uses tequila. The first one is called the Pot of Gold Whiskey Sour. So this one has 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of the Teeling whiskey, 1 ounce of lemon juice, and 1 ounce of honey syrup. And honey syrup, I just take some hot water and mix it with honey to make it a little thinner and easier to work with. And I typically include an egg white in my whiskey sours, but I'm not going to with this one. And you'll see why in a moment. Give it a good shake. And the reason I didn't use the egg white is because I really just want the whole thing to look like a pot of gold. And I'm going to add some of this dazzle dust and just stir it into the drink. It looks really cool and it doesn't affect the flavor at all, really. Now that that has a little bit of gold dust in it, I'm going to garnish it with a rainbow because there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There's our pot of gold whiskey sour. The second drink we're going to make tonight is called the Dubliner. It's an Irish twist on the classic Manhattan, and this one's a stirred drink. We're going to start out again with 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of the Teeling Irish Whiskey, a half ounce or about 15 milliliters of Grand Marnier, a half ounce or about 15 milliliters of sweet vermouth, about 3 dashes of orange bitters, we're going to stir this with plenty of ice until we get a nice frost on the outside of the mixing glass. Grab the chilled martini glass from the freezer and we'll double strain our cocktail. I'm going to garnish it with a green cherry. Now unfortunately, my jar of green cherries were damaged in the mail, so I'm just showing you these and showing you that they exist. But I haven't tasted them, but I think they taste a lot like the regular red ones. Anyway, there's our Dubliner. Alright, our third drink I'm going to call the Mexican Leprechaun, because it's the only one with tequila in it. And it's also the only one that's green, but as you can see we have our themed garnishes on the other 2, so I think that's alright. So for the Mexican Leprechaun, we're going to start out with 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of Blanco tequila, 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of whatever type of milk you like. I'm going to use oat milk today, half an ounce or about 15 milliliters of the honey syrup, about a bar spoon of matcha powder, which I already have measured out here. And I'm going to put some pebble ice in my glass to serve it over, and I'm going to shake it with pebble ice. Give it like more of a shake than I normally would with the pebble, just to make sure the matcha is fully incorporated. I'm just going to pour the ice and everything into a crooked glass. As always, I like to top it off with a little more of the pebble ice. I'm going to garnish it with some mint and a couple of pieces of dehydrated citrus. There's our Mexican Leprechaun. Alright, there's our 3 St. Patrick's Day cocktails. Which one do you think you'd like the best? So now here we have our pot of gold whiskey sour. A whiskey sour works really well with honey, and I don't miss the egg white much in this one. I really like the cool effect of the glitter. And the Teeling works really well with it. And then the second one we made was the Dubliner. Definitely a boozier one, but you get kind of like the orange from the bitters and the Grand Marnier. I sure wish I could tell you how this cherry tastes, but between the jar being open and ants being on it, I'm not gonna eat the cherry, but I will try some more in the future. And here's our Mexican Leprechaun. This was kind of the wild card of the 3, but I really love the way it looks. I think it just looks like really festive. I knew the matcha would work really well with the milk. I was kind of skeptical about tequila, but it has a very slight sweetness from the honey syrup. And then, like, kind of the earthiness of the matcha, it goes really well with the tequila. And if you're looking for some more green cocktails, especially matcha cocktails, I do have a green whiskey sour with matcha that I made for St. Patrick's Day last year. I'll throw a link probably on a card and in the description below. So I really appreciate you guys like making it to the end of this video, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!